Hello, beautiful souls. Reverend Chris talking to you today with my yellow M&M hood from Las Vegas from the M&M store on the Strip. I always like the yellow M&M. I don't know why. I know the girl M&M is green, but yellow's my thing. It's brighter. I have like a weird frog in my throat a little bit, so sorry about that, but I'm feeling fine. I actually am getting over kind of like a chest cold thing I did have. No makeup, just my regular hair today. And you know it's me, Reverend Chris, always just being myself, your favorite non-denominational ordained minister from Detroit, Michigan, representing the D and the surrounding areas. I'm talking about an interesting topic, I hope, today. To me, I feel like I've done videos kind of like this, but not exactly like this in the past. I'm entitling this video, God Has Control, or God is in Control. And I think people just need to be reminded of this, as do I. So basically, I did a video on worry where I said, cast your cares onto God, onto the Lord. He's really in control. I've done videos on, praying when you need something to change in your life. And I've done, different Bible verses I've pointed out about how it says that, God always has the last word and all of that. And if it's meant to be, it's going to be. So kind of all that, if you put all of that together, I feel like it's kind of what today's message is about. So basically, we get into a cycle in this day and age, being adult human beings, where we are trying to plan our life exactly how it's going to go. We are saying, by age 30, I'm going to marry this perfect person, and I'm going to finish college by age 24, and I'm going to get any job I apply for when I want it. It's going to happen exactly how I want it, and we try to overplan all these things, and guess what? Then we figure out we're really not in control, and we panic, and we worry. We have anxiety. Why aren't things happening as fast as we want them to happen? Why is my life not going exactly as I planned it? How come I'm not meeting the people I want to meet? And you try to control it, you overthink it, you get yourself worked up. And really, if you read the Bible, it pretty much says, listen up, dummy, you're not in control. The God of the universe that created everything and created us is in control. And pretty much if it's meant to be, God will make it happen for you at the time it's supposed to happen for you. You don't really get to always say at 5 o'clock on Friday of this week, this is going to happen. Or I'm going to have the perfect child turn out absolutely great, and I'm going to have this child next year. Or, it's just, we get out of control with this stuff, and we need to humble ourselves. In my meditation, wrote down in big letters, be grateful and be humble. And that is really the lesson for this week, is to be grateful for the things you already have from God. Humble yourself. Meditate, pray to God for the things that you do want, but you have to accept when things don't happen exactly as you plan them and realize that God is ultimately in control. So if it's meant to be, God will give it to you. Remain humble and stop being afraid. And if things don't work out exactly perfect, we have to accept them and quit planning our life so much. I'm not saying sit around and be lazy and just say, God's going to hand me a job, it's going to fall in my lap, or if I don't work hard in school, I'll graduate anyway. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't do your best, don't try your hardest. I'm saying worrying, giving yourself anxiety, being upset about every little thing, trying to overplan your whole life, how it's going to turn out, what's going to happen. Those things you don't have control over. So I found an interesting quote, and it's by a group called Soul Quest. I found this on Facebook, and the quote is, a brave person is not one who doesn't feel afraid, but who feels the fear and walks through it. So that's what you have to do in your life. You have to realize when you're trying to over control things and you're afraid, when you're trying to over plan your life and not give it to God and be humble before Him. And then you have to realize it and use that wisdom that God gave you and let Him have control and ask Him, please, Lord, give me the wisdom to be patient, let you handle things of the things I cannot control. The things I can control, help me to have wisdom to do them the right way. And wisdom, I wrote this down and I think this is pretty good. Wisdom is controlling what you can control and realizing what you cannot control. So you have to first realize, A, God is in control. B, you're only a mere human being. You're not all knowing of everything in the universe. A lot of things you think are supposed to happen exactly one way, there might be a really good reason why they did not. So let's get into the Bible verses. Some of these you've heard in other videos, and I would tell anyone to look for my video on worry. It does go along with this video. I think I did it at least 6 months ago, but I could have that wrong. But okay, so let's start off with, I have the Catholic Bible today, by the way. Start off our verses with Proverbs 16, number 9. Which says, in his mind a man plans his course, but the Lord directs his steps. So what does that mean? That means that you might have in your mind, I'm going to land this perfect job and I'm going to get the job next week. And God may have a better job lined up for you. You may go apply for that job and interview for that job, but if it's not meant to be, God's not going to let it happen for you. So you might have big plans, but God might actually direct your steps somewhere else. So once again, it's saying you might have an idea, but God's really in control. Then we have Proverbs 19, number 21, and that says, many are plans in a man's heart, but it is the decision of the Lord that endures. So it's almost the exact same verse. I just kind of want to point that out. They're both Proverbs too, which I love. And Proverbs is always about really good advice, like horse sense, like really good, just everyday practical advice. So basically, you can plan all you want, but God's going to make it happen or not. Then we have Isaiah 45, number 7. It says, I am the Lord, there is no other. I form light and create the darkness. I make well-being and create woe. I, the Lord, do all of these things. So I'm going to tell you why I picked this verse. It's saying without saying that God created everything. And to me, my thing is, you have to realize God is in control of the entire universe and all these things that he created. So if he is in control of all those things and created all those things, how come we don't trust that? How come we can't say, wow, if he's such a big God, he can really direct me in the right path and make things happen exactly how they're supposed to happen for me? Why don't we have trust in that if we know that he's all-knowing and created everything? So that verse kind of says that he did everything and created everything and knows everything. So I'm saying if we know that, let's take it a step further and have trust. He can obviously change everything or change anything just like that. And why don't we trust? Why do we have the anxiety? Because we're trying to be in control of things we probably shouldn't be trying to control. All right, Jeremiah 29:11. Love this. It says, for I know well the plans I had made in mind for you, says the Lord. I plan your welfare, not for your woe. Plan to give you a future full of hope. So I've explained this before. I know I've used this verse before, but it's one of my faves. God, he created you. He has a plan for your life. And all of his plans are for you to have good and not woe, sorrow, bad things. So if you already know before you go into a situation, God's created me, he wants me to be happy, created me to be happy with a plan, why are we so worried? That is the question. If we know he has a plan for each and every one of us, if we know he loves every one of us and made every one of us in his infinite wisdom, why are we still hung up on the fact that we can't control everything? He obviously is able to control our meager little life in this huge universe if he created the whole universe. All right, lastly, I have the word of Jesus. You know, I got to always do this. It's in the book of Matthew, and it is Jesus's words. It is Matthew 6:34, which says, enough then worrying about tomorrow. Let tomorrow take care of itself. Today has troubles of its own. So this is kind of another anxiety verse. I think a lot of my anxiety in my life comes from trying to control things and not being humble and realizing, taking a breath for a second, saying, whoa, I'm not supposed to try to control everyone, everything, every situation. It's God's meant to do that, and I'm meant to learn from this situation and chill out and learn how to calm down and be patient. So basically worrying about tomorrow is useless. Having anxiety about things you can't control is useless. That's one of my favorites. I think I've done that verse in about 4 or 5 videos if you haven't noticed, but either way, I picked these because they all speak to me, and they're saying I feel basically God's in charge, where we never really were. We only have very little say in, the events of the way of our life is going to go. He's going to lead us where he wants us to go. Things are going to happen to fall into place exactly how they're supposed to be at the exact right time. That's in his timing and not our plan most of the time. So I hope this helps someone. I hope everyone has a wonderful, blessed week. You can always give me a donation on patreon.com. Please click, share, subscribe, and you can always forward these videos to friends that you think are interested. I'll put the link below for Patreon, and you can always email me at freeprayerlove@aol.com. Have a blessed week, and I love you all.